So there's a big tournament that just concluded out in Italy over the weekend, but there was a lot of things to take away from this. Okay, where should we begin? How about we start at 121 pounds? Gilman goes out there. Joe Colon goes out there. How Joe Colon makes 121 pounds, I have no idea. Will Joe Colon ever be given the credit that he deserves for his absolute life commitment to the sport of wrestling? But at any rate, I'm really interested in seeing Colon, okay? And there's been a couple of Colons, but he hasn't been down at this weight class too many times, and things can get real interesting, particularly when Colon gets on top of you and gets his hands locked. He can start turning guys every which way but loose. So you've got Gilman, you got Colon, you got Fix, all in the same weight class. And a little bit of it, you're scratching your head going, hey guys, you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to fly to Italy, cut a whole bunch of weight, go through hell, but largely have to go through one another and figure this thing out? Is this good for you to put it on the line and give your opponent an opportunity to feel you this close to the trials? This is always the million-dollar question to the senior level guys competing. And the ones that come to the conclusion of, yes, this is good. Okay, great. They jump on an airplane and they go enter a tournament, right? But many other guys don't, but this is still a balance. You do give a guy an advantage, particularly a guy that has to dig super deep to beat you. If he goes out there and does beat you, a lot of that desire to defeat you is going to go away. It is. That's human nature. If you want to beat a guy so bad, but then you go out and beat him, you don't wake up and go, I want to beat that guy so bad. The roles get reversed and he goes to want to beat you. So it becomes a little bit of a game. So I was a little bit surprised to see Joe, Gilman, and Fix all in the same weight class. Ultimately, Gilman comes out on top. He eliminates Colon by 1 point. He eliminates Fix by 1 point in the finals. Okay. Move up to 145 pounds. No Yanni. Yanni goes and enters every damn thing there is. For some reason, we don't have Yanni out there, but we do have J.O., we do have Zayn in the bracket, and then we have Bahrain, the Indian wrestler, who's a hammer, who usually beats our guys, but who Yanni got the jump on last time they wrestled in New York City. So they go out there and they make it to the finals, and the Indian wrestler beat both of our guys. He took out Zayn, gets into the finals, and takes out J.O. This guy does look beatable. This guy is beyond what we call in wrestling solid. And I don't mean solid like he's a wall, like you can't move him. I mean, he goes to the basics and he does them over and over. He will stay in your face, he will hold position, and he will grind it out. He will not quit, and he will not beat himself. As easy as that may sound for me to give an analysis of a guy and say he's not going to beat himself, I can tell you as an athlete, particularly with wrestling, it's easy to beat yourself. It's very easy to shut down too early. It's very easy to go for a move that exposes your own back. It was your own effort. You went to your back. Your opponent got some points, sometimes a fall. Move up to 74 kilograms. Big deal because you've got Kyle Dake. One of the biggest stories in American wrestling right now is just people looking forward to Dake versus Burroughs. The fact that Dake has beaten Burroughs one time, Burroughs has won all the rest of the matches. Burroughs is coming off of 2 bronze medals, and Dake is coming off of 2 world titles. But now is coming down to challenge JB just to get the spot. It's a great story, and it will never quit working. And by the way, when you see Dake wrestle, it is a thing of beauty. And I cannot really use beauty for very many wrestlers. That's kind of a weird word, as a matter of fact, in a form of combat that is so in your face and intense. Kyle Dake has a way of movement. He has a way to move his head. He has a way to get to positions such as high crotches, keep his hips in, keep his chest high, keep his shoulders square. He has a way where you can see what he's doing, and he doesn't make wrestling look like chaos. He makes it look as though it's by design. So Dake gets in the tournament. He's got a couple of really tough guys that he makes easy matches of, but he gets into the finals with a world silver medalist from Turkey. I think you pronounce the guy's name Demiris. In the words of The Rock, it really doesn't matter what the guy's name is. He's the 74 kilo representative from Turkey, and by the way, he's sporting a world silver medal. Oh, and I should mention he made it less than 40 seconds with Kid Dynamite. Dake took him down, turned it every which way but loose. It took his ass down again and went home. In less than 40 seconds, he dispatched up a world silver medalist from the weight class that Jordan Burroughs has sat at, who's largely going to be Dake's opponent to get out of the country. And I think when you start to look at that, it starts to make that match that much more interesting. There doesn't appear to be anybody alive that can beat Kyle Dake that isn't named Jordan Burroughs. It's one of those things. Largely, that could be mental. could be mental. But when you go and grab two world championships, got a funny way of helping your confidence. Move up to 86 kilograms. This is another one that we loaded up. PD3 goes out there. I'm talking about Patrick Downey, of course. Zahid goes out there, takes time away from a college season. And Derringer, who has now moved into the weight class right after the trials of last year, after his best of 3 series with Dake, also goes out there. Well, these guys got some pretty good brackets. The good news for America is we beat everybody in the bracket, and ultimately it had to come down to us beating ourselves. And I thought, of the 3, I thought PD3 did the best job. Now, PD3 actually came in with the lowest placement. Zahid wins the tournament, runs into Ringer in the finals and beats him. Zahid wins the whole thing. I'm just telling you, for somebody who went out there and performed, PD3, and this isn't something new, he started doing this about 15 to 16 months ago. Soon as PD3 got out there to the regional training center in New Jersey, started working with Reese Humphrey on a daily basis, everything about him is different. He's still got the same threats, and he's still a rough guy, and he still goes upper body, and he's not afraid of what you're going to do in the match. He'll stand his ground with anybody. He's got all of those things, I understand that, but his ability to stay in the moment, his ability to stay focused, his ability to attack, his ability to extend his energy over the whole 6 minutes, not just 3 minutes and 50 seconds and hang on, or on a good day, 4 minutes and 50 seconds and then just hang on. Look, he hangs in the whole time. He battles the whole time. He dropped a match to Derringer by 1 point. But if I was to tell you that 3 years ago, PD3 and Derringer were going to be 1 point apart at an international Class A event, you wouldn't believe me. Of those 3 guys, if you want to talk about gains and you want to talk about who's competing up to their potential, in many ways, PD3 outshined Zahid, who was the champion, and Derringer, who got a win over him. Now, that's going to be a weird take, and a few of you are going to push back and have a hard time digesting that, but I've followed all of their careers very closely. PD3 has been a hammer forever, but not always consistent. Ringer has been a winner forever. Zahid only knows how to win. PD3 is now starting to live up to his potential, and in many ways, with the help of the New Jersey Training Center and Coach Reese Humphrey, he's living above his potential. I'm just telling you what I saw. Because eventually David Taylor's going to come into this mix, and allegedly, I happen to believe the rumor, Jaden Cox coming to the mix. So this whole country, just to earn a spot and make it out, I think that weight class is one of the perennial ones in terms of entertainment and parity. Moving to 97 kilograms, and this is where all hell breaks loose. So Bo Nickel, who won NCAA a whole bunch of times and the Hodge Trophy and every damn thing else you can win, also picked up a world championship over the summer. Now, people don't want to give him credit for it because it was an age group world championship. It's a world championship, any word you want to put in front of it. University, U23, military, senior, cadet, junior, I don't give a damn. If it ends in world championship, then he won a world championship. I should mention for you, in the finals, he won by technical fall. What's the point? The point is Bo Nickel's one of the best wrestlers in the world. That's the point. Bo Nickel ends up with an Iranian. And I can't do any more than call the guy an Iranian. I don't know his name. I've never seen the guy before. I follow this close. I've never seen the guy before. The guy technical falls Bo Nickel. He leaves Bo Nickel with a look on his face of absolute shock. There was an absolute look on Bo Nickel's face of, I did not know a man alive could do that to me, because there's not a man alive who has ever done that to me. I know that look on Bo's face because I have the same one on my face as a fan. I'm watching going, I didn't know anybody could do that to Bo. I've never seen anybody do that to Bo. I knew the look. We had the same look. 40 minutes later, that guy's now on the mat. The Iranian is now on the mat with Kyle Schneider. He's 8 points ahead of Kyle Schneider when he pins Kyle Schneider. Now, I have to point this out for you because these are two things that have never happened. Bo Nickel has never had his ass kicked 10-0 in front of Chael, and not for nothing, I'm a huge fan. Okay, if it didn't happen in front of Chael, for most part, it didn't happen, and that's not a condescending Chael inserted himself. I see everything that happens in wrestling. I just do. This guy then gets the best of Kyle Schneider by 8 points and puts both his shoulders on the mat. I mean, come on, this guy did a good job. Here's the thing that you have to always know, though, about international wrestling, all right? Everybody in the world is scouting Kyle Schneider. Kyle Schneider, I imagine, is a lot like me going, who's the Iranian? Who's the new guy? Turned out this Iranian had done some stuff on the age group scene, failed a drug test of some level, and had to sit for 4 years. So it appears that this is his first time back for 4 years. The bad news for the field is you don't get better taking 4 years off. Your worst competition is going to be your first one back. The Iranian Tekbo Nickel and Penn Kyle Schneider, while only 2 points of teching him as well. I mean, this guy's going to be a handful. That's all I'm trying to say. This guy's going to be a handful. Now, guys like Schneider, going to understand it. They're going to have a feel for it. They're going to break down. They're going to come up with a plan. All advantages they did not have. All advantages they will have moving forward. Then you get up to the heavyweight class. Look, we only had one dog in the race, which was Tony Nelson. Quiz didn't go out to this. Don Bradley didn't go out to this. Tony Nelson came up short in the very first one. Tony's a big, strong guy. Tony's a great competitor, but it's one of these things where at that weight class, and as many matches as you have at heavyweight, where 1 point is what separates them. It's anybody's ball game. That with Tony Nelson, who does everything right. He's a big, strong guy. He's hung around. He's got great coaches. He's been in sport. He's a great wrestler, not a good wrestler. Tony Nelson's a great wrestler. At that weight class where 1 point will separate victory from defeat, it's important. That 1 point is important. You're battling for every position. That's going to be what Tony needs to work on moving ahead. He doesn't need big points. He doesn't need feet to back. He's not like a 121 pounder. He needs 1 point. All in all, incredible tournament that helps sets us up not only for the Olympic Games, but us as wrestling fans for the Olympic trials.